Height can be accommodated in the city, but only in the right places. A lot of us, all three of us talked about smart growth development, and that's where I think where you can bring the density at and around metro stations, but it needs to be confined. We need to keep the protections that we have, let's say in Old Town, where there's a 50-foot height limit, in Old Town, for commercial buildings, residential buildings as well, and that is in keeping with the protection of the parkway. But we have approved buildings of some height at and around metro stations, and I think your characterization, George, is actually sort of correct. If you go high where it's appropriate, at and around metro stations where it can be supported by the road network and the transit network, you have a tendency to be able to have more open space in other parts of the city because you're not squishing the development down. It's sort of like a balloon. You push down and it goes like it flattens out. Arlington's a pretty good example where they concentrated all of their development, height and density along their metro lines, and they have a fairly vibrant tax base. But if you go out from the metro stations in their residential neighborhoods, they have a lot more open space than does Alexandria, because they, again, concentrated their density, concentrated their height where it was appropriate. And that's exactly, the kinds of examples we can use here in Alexandria.
Bill, 90 seconds.
Yes, we need to allow for more building heights in parts of the city that is appropriate, and those spots would be, areas would be along Eisenhower Avenue. Certainly we see that down in East Eisenhower with the construction of the National Science Foundation building, the U.S. Patent and Trademark Headquarters. Maybe as we venture further to the west along Eisenhower, we may have some opportunities there as well. But the west end of the city, the landmark West Beauregard corridor certainly offers some opportunities there. We have the Hilton Hotel already today as that area is redeveloped, and it's planned for redevelopment over the next 15-20 years. Certainly some opportunities for much more height in that particular site location. And the last area that we can do something in terms of height, which is it also has a ceiling in terms of the number of stories that we can build, will be in Potomac Yard. And but exclusive of that, certainly we will not be like New York City to build in our downtown central core tall buildings that will cast shadows. That is just not appropriate.
Thank you. And last but not least, Allison, 90 seconds.
Certainly, in certain parts of the city, Eisenhower West and Eisenhower East, it is appropriate to have height right near those metro stops. I do agree with that completely, and we have been working on those plans, especially with Eisenhower West, and I've been proud to be part of that. But even at Eisenhower West, I believe that we could have a small amount of specific, little open space, like a Rittenhouse Square. We need little Rittenhouse Squares. Even when you can develop the heck out of the land, you've got to have some places where people can come together. We need to be careful so that we don't ruin our community. We have to build community. So I think that certainly some height is in keeping with smart growth practices, absolutely. Especially, as I said, in Eisenhower. But as far as other parts, I just think we have to be careful. Parts of Potomac Yard, certainly. But again, I wish that those who envisioned Potomac Yard had put in a good 15, 20 acre lawn right in the middle. And the linear park is nice, but it's just this little side thing that is highly utilized, but it's not really visionary. And visionary would have been having a lawn like they have at UVA. I just think that we've shown that we cannot really develop our way out of our economic situation. We have serious economic challenges, and we're going to have to come up with new, inventive strategies to tackle our needs. Thank you.